I've always dreamed of creating my own anime, and now that's something possible thanks to artificial intelligence. If you want similar results with a character that stays consistent, I'll show you how to do it very simply. For a long time, I was saving money telling myself, okay, I'm going to need this much time and this much budget to make an episode. And now, with the arrival of artificial intelligence, you can do the voiceovers, the music, the characters, the environments, and even the animations. And on my end, thanks to artificial intelligence, I can make progress on this project. One of the main challenges I faced was, of course, having a character that is consistent every time, that is, having a similar character with potentially the same clothes, but especially the same eye color, the same hairstyle, the same posture, the same shoes. I'm going to show you how you can achieve this kind of result without having to stress over super complicated software. This will allow you, if you want to create manga, comics, but also later on if you want to animate these videos, we'll cover all that in another video. Well, why not create a series or an anime? What you also need to understand is that your results won't always be 100% perfect. And that's absolutely normal. And you'll often see in YouTube videos that people always show you things that are amazing and perfect. I'm going to show you how you can achieve that kind of result, but it won't happen on the first try. So the purpose of this video is to show you how to create a consistent character and also how to correct all the errors made by artificial intelligence. I'm putting a link in the description and I invite you to go to this site and click on New Project. What will be important next is to successfully define a character. So we're going to name this project, and I recommend that you work directly in 16:9. As you can see, there will be a maximum size and a maximum width that isn't necessarily optimized. That's not a problem. Later on, we'll use an upscaler that will allow us to have higher resolution images. Then, as you can see, you'll have a characters category here where you'll be able to generate your character. But before anything else, what we're interested in is generating what's called a character sheet. The character sheet will be an image with several poses of your character from the back, from the side, from the right, so you can capture every detail and then train the artificial intelligence to reproduce this character in all its forms. So first, we'll go to text to image and try to create our character. For this, I have pre-created a prompt where you'll read character sheet on a white background, meaning you'll have a character sheet on a white background. The white background is important. You can also use a green background so as not to interfere with the AI training with details that don't match the character. And our character here is simple for the example, featuring a geeky human male in all black clothes and a t-shirt with a chicken head, which means we'll have a kind of geek, a man dressed in black with a logo here featuring a chicken head. I chose this example specifically to show that we can achieve consistency and that we can ask the AI for specific details, for example, colors on the glasses, glasses of a certain shape, a t-shirt of a particular brand. And as you can see, we can also request multiple poses from various angles, for example, a front view, left view, right view, back view, or three-quarter view with a neutral expression. Later on, you can easily imagine creating different expressions as well, for example, angry or happy. But if you are generating a character for the first time, stick to normal poses and neutral facial expressions. Otherwise, if you use an angry character, the AI will assume that the standard for this character is to always be angry. Next, you have the style here that you can choose directly. You can either define it in the prompt or select a style that you like. In our example, we're going to go with a manga or Japanese animation style. So we'll click on this style here. Of course, this technique also works with photos of real people with 3D animation, whatever you like. Then here, we'll stay in normal generation mode, which gives better quality, and we'll click on generate. What's going to happen? I'm going to click here twice to get two sets of examples. And then to get more results, I'll click on prompt improver, which will simply improve my prompt. And I'll also click on it twice. And that already is an important point. You're not just going to generate an image once and say, okay, I'll take this result. You're going to do it several times so you can get different results and then optimize by choosing the one that comes closest to your idea. So this is the first step of what we call curation. You generate content, you sort through it, and you pick the one that is of the best quality and closest to your idea. So here you can see different images, and as you can notice, there are some good images and there are also some that didn't turn out quite right. The idea then is to pick the one you like the most and use it as your character. As you can see, the option here that allows you to improve the prompt gives me better results overall, especially this one, which is quite an interesting outcome. You can clearly see the character with the same hairstyle and of course glasses here as well, sometimes with a jacket, sometimes without. And of course, the logo right in front. You also find the same type of pants and the same kind of shoes. It's the little details that matter at first, and I'm going to show you how to fix all of that to get as close as possible to maximum quality. First, you'll download this image and, for example, select it 4 times. That will simply give us more data and more details. But then we're going to edit this image to achieve the best possible result. An important feature of this tool as well, if you double click on it, you can easily use tools like the AI eraser here and, for example, select this part and ask it to erase it or to change and modify the hairstyle. This is something very useful and practical because it allows you to work directly on your image right after generating it so you can adjust it as needed. And I repeat, this is something important. You almost always need to adjust a small detail here or there. And all the examples you see on the internet are examples that have always been reworked, or there was excellent curation beforehand, meaning there may have been 50 bad results. And each time you only shown the very best, you really have to keep in mind that you always need to make an effort to improve things because AI is not perfect. And as you can see here now, I'm on ChatGPT and I'm going to take this image, which has been upscaled, and I'm going to ask ChatGPT to correct this image to make the details much finer, to fix the shading and the style. You can simply ask it this, correct this image and return it to me in 16:9. At that point, ChatGPT might ask you, for example, what style you want for this image. Is it more of a background correction? Or is it more about correcting the lines, the style? In that case, just answer the questions to guide ChatGPT so you get the best possible result. No need to overthink it. It's just a simple conversation. And after about 30 seconds of processing, you click here and you can see the result generated by ChatGPT. You can see that the lines are much finer and that the character's face as well as the t-shirt are much more consistent. However, as you can see here, the shoes are open and here they're closed. Personally, I honestly prefer to work here with shoes that are closed. Keep in mind that this will also make your life easier because you won't have to constantly correct mistakes made by the artificial intelligence every time you regenerate your character. So what I'm going to do is ask ChatGPT to make closed shoes on the first 3 characters. And as you can see, I'm just having a simple conversation with ChatGPT. I tell it, for the first 3 characters, there's a small issue. Overall, it's good, but I want the same type of shoes as the last 2 characters. And as incredible as it may seem, ChatGPT will understand this perfectly well. Once our characters have been properly corrected, we can move on to the next step, which is to cut out these characters and provide them in order to train the artificial intelligence to reproduce them. And there you go. After a bit of waiting, our character is ready. We're going to click here on Use a Character if you left the screen, or otherwise, you can go to the Characters section right here and click on Generate Images. And here you'll see that you'll be able to select your character. So in this case, it's the famous Damien. And I can actually summon this Damien by using an @ symbol. So for example, if I click here and I want him to walk, I'll click on this pre-prompt to show you as an example, but you can completely modify the prompt example here to adapt it to your own situations. I click on Generate, and as usual, I'm going to do it several times. And as you can see now, you have another character in his own style with his signature t-shirt waving here. You have different versions. You can see him reading, here walking around, and here, for example, simply eating ramen. It's worth noting that with the camera option, you can absolutely request more specific camera positions. For example, you can choose to see the character from the front or the back, from the left, from the right, or also set up the camera to focus on the face or show the full body to see the entire figure. Otherwise, you can leave it on automatic and guide it with words through the prompt. Of course, the more you refine your prompt, the more personalized and consistent your results will be. And if in some cases there are mistakes, you can ask the AI to correct them. For example, here, I'm going to double click on the image, then select the hand repair feature. This way, it will automatically fix the hand by redrawing it to have the correct number of fingers. And if, for example, in this image, I wanted to insert other characters, there's an amazing feature called Insert Character. You just need to select your character, then select an area, and another character can be added into the image. As you progress, you might have new poses for your character. You can easily cut them out and reintegrate them to further train your AI to reproduce your character. As you can see here, there are characters that are generated in dynamic poses on a green background to make them easier to cut out, and it works quite well. And I'll show you other examples that are much more refined, featuring one of my characters named Lucy, whom you can see here, or even running down a street. You can also work from the back, from the side, it doesn't matter. Then, as you can see, not everything is perfectly well defined. You will simply take this image and ask ChatGPT to rework it so that it becomes absolutely perfect. To do this, we'll go back to our example of this image here, and as you can see, the hand has been corrected. I'm simply going to ask ChatGPT to fix this image so that the shading is better and, of course, so that the drawings are more clearly defined. I re-download the image, take it in maximum quality, and give it back to ChatGPT. And here is the corrected version from ChatGPT. Just to remind you, we had this image where, for example, the eyes were a bit less well defined, and there was poor volume here at this spot, for instance, in relation to the pillow and the furniture behind. And here, as you can see, everything is much better defined. The details are fine. In short, everything is ready to be animated afterwards. The quality of this image is already excellent in itself, but if you want to further increase the quality of this image here, I simply suggest searching for AI Upscale, and you'll easily find services that will allow you to upscale your image using algorithms. As you can see, I clicked on several services. I don't have any particular one to recommend to you, just don't pay for this. And there you go. This way, you'll be able to have a character that is consistent and high quality. Keep in mind that all of this works for 2D, photorealistic, or of course 3D as well. In this particular tutorial, you can see that we are using online services, and I've put the links in the description of this video and in the comments. There are also other methods that we'll cover on the YouTube channel, where I'll show you how you can do it with something much more complex, but which can also give you convincing results. I'm working on it. In the meantime, I'd be very happy to see your creations, your comics, manga, stories, and keep following the YouTube channel because I'll show you next how to animate this and create a real series. Don't forget to like, share, and even comment, even if it's just to say thank you. It always warms the heart in any case. Take care of yourself and your business, and don't hesitate to share your creations.